this in a little bit more detail. We want to find, if you read this as the coordinates of point T are 0, 5, the midpoint of ST, segment ST is 5, -4, find the coordinates of point S. So what they're saying here, just to give yourself a little bit of a picture, draw on here real quick. Okay, 0, 5 is going to maybe be right there. Okay, a lot of times when I'm just drawing a picture to think about what I'm supposed to be doing here, I'm really not worried about scale and that kind of stuff. So I'm not going to put any markings for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on here. And then the midpoint is at 5, -4. So 5, -4, might be there, and they're calling that M. Or we're going to call that M. Okay? So that's the picture that we're looking at. And remember, T is an endpoint. M is a midpoint. They want us to keep going and find where does S belong. Okay? So that's kind of the idea behind this question. Hopefully you realize, you can't do this on every question, but if you drew a picture, okay, hopefully you realize that S is going to have an X coordinate that is positive, right? And a Y coordinate that's negative. So that might be something that helps you justify your answer when you're done. But what you're going to do is you're going to take the formula we talked about yesterday where it's X sub M, comma Y sub M. Remember, that's just the X and Y values of your midpoint. Okay? They are equal to, or they are developed by x1 plus x2 over 2, comma y1 plus y2 over 2. And those are the formulas to find those particular coordinates. So when we look at this, it's actually two equations. I'm just going to color code it for us. That's one equation. Okay? xm equals x1 plus x2 over 2. And this is your other equation. Okay? So now I'm going to go back to my picture here, and I'm going to realize what these values that they're providing me are. This is an x1, y1. x1 and y1 and x2 and y2 come from your endpoints, right? Okay? And this here then is xm, ym. Okay, so again, the subscript's telling you they come from my midpoint. What I'm looking for then is some ordered pair down here in this region. That's going to be an x2, comma y2. Okay? And really, the whole procedure, a lot of times I just let the endpoint that they give me be x1, y1. I could let that be x2, y2, and this be x1, y1. It doesn't really matter. Okay? But that has to be xm and ym. So now we use this formula. I'm going to take the yellow stuff and create an equation. If I create an equation with that yellow stuff, I get x sub m is equal to x sub 1 plus x sub 2 over 2. Alright? Now looking at my information here, x sub 1 is 0, right? So I'm going to come over here, and where I see x sub 1, plug in 0. Okay? X sub 2 is unknown. That's what we're looking for. So I'm going to leave it as x sub 2. Okay? The denominator is always going to be 2. And now that stuff should be equal to x sub m. Well, x sub m, they're saying is 5. Alright? You should always get, once you set the equation up so the algebra is consistent every time, you're going to get rid of that denominator of 2. So multiply both sides by 2, gives me 10 is equal to 0 plus x sub 2. So x sub 2, that point right there, that coordinate, is 10. Is that alright? Go do the exact same thing then with my y's. Okay, so let me erase this. The exact same thing with y, so we'll go y sub m is equal to y1 plus y2 over 2. Okay. Going through here, ym is -4. y1 was 5. I don't know y2, that's what we're looking for. And my denominator is 2. So just like the last time, multiply both sides by the denominator 2, -8, 5 plus y sub 2 Subtract 5 from both sides, I get negative 13 is equal to y2. So that ordered pair then is 10, negative 13. And that kind of mimics what we thought we should get, right? We said we should get an x value that's positive because it's going to be in the fourth quadrant. And x values there are positive, and the y value should be negative. And if I were to plot that, like I said, I didn't pay much attention to scale. But if I were to plot this, we will end up getting that visual that m is between those two things. Okay. Now we could do this a different way. We can maybe some of you realize that, man, he's going doing too much work with this, because you say, okay, if I go from this point here, this is an endpoint and that's a midpoint. Did anybody say, well, I'm just going to go 5 over and 9 down? Does that work? That make sense? Okay. Well, what if I go 5 more that way from that point? What would that get me at in the next value? 10. And now I'm going to go 9 down more. Down more. 9 more. And that doesn't sound right. Go down 9 more. And if I'm at negative 4 and I go down 9 more, what does that get me? Negative 13. Is that a lot easier? A lot less work, right? Okay. Now here's the reason I don't show that. Because what happens when I tell you that your endpoint is at pi, comma 2/3, your midpoint is at negative 5/3, comma 7/2. Can I do that anymore? No. It's really hard to count over pi units or something like that, or to move over in the coordinate plane 2/3. Okay. So what I always show in class is a way that will always get you the answer, regardless of the types of values you start with. If all your ordered pairs are nice and neat integers, you can go ahead and use that counting technique. Okay. But when those integers change, are we able to adapt to it? Does that make sense? And people always ask, how do I do this problem? How do I do this one problem? Just give me the steps and I'll go through and do it. Okay? Well, if they learn that counting step, that counting procedure, say that's the only way that they're going to learn, they will miss questions on the test, because questions on the test will involve maybe fractions. Okay? And even if just one of those points is a fraction, maybe 0,5, comma 5, negative 4/3. You can't do it that way then and be accurate. All right? You can get a ballpark estimate, but you can't be accurate. All right? Does that make sense? Formulas are pivotal. We need to make sure we understand them and we are able to use them. They are the best shortcut. Okay? They will work all the time. All right, so number 11, just for the sake of time, I will do number 11 for like 5th period and 6th period.